Okay, let's unpack this. Think about, the websites you use every single day.
Right.
They aren't just static pages, are they? They seem to know who you are. They show your information.
Personalized.
Yeah, they change based on what you do. So how do developers actually build web pages that are, well, dynamic like this? Pulling in specific data, changing on the fly for every user.
It does feel a bit like magic sometimes, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, it often involves something called a template engine.
Exactly.
And today we're trying to get a handle on how these tools work, maybe focusing a bit on one popular one, EJS.
Yeah, EJS is a great example, and it really gets to the core problem these engines solve. I mean, imagine trying to manually create a separate HTML file for every single user's profile page on, say, a big social media site.
Oh, that's impossible, completely impossible.
Totally impractical, right?
So template engines offer this, well, much more elegant solution. They let developers write a general HTML structure.
Like a blueprint. A blueprint, exactly. With placeholders or special tags mixed in. And these placeholders are just waiting to be filled with the actual user-specific data.
Ah,
And that happens right before the page gets sent to your browser. It makes building these data-driven web apps, well, efficient and scalable.
scalable is the key word there, I think, and EJS specifically.
Yeah.
One reason it seems popular is its simplicity.
Definitely. Its syntax is designed to look a lot like regular HTML.
So if you know HTML, it's not a huge leap.
Exactly. It feels familiar, making it pretty easy to pick up, especially if you've got those web development basics down.
Okay, so EJS adds these special tags inside your HTML.
Right within the structure. And these tags give you the power to inject the data and even embed some logic.
Okay, let's break those down.
Yeah.
First up, there's a prefetch value percent. What's its main job?
That tag, perfess value percent, is basically your go-to for outputting a variable's value straight into the HTML.
Simple output.
Simple output, but crucially, it automatically handles escaping. It converts characters that could be problematic, like or signs, into safe HTML entities.
Ah, so that's for security, like preventing cross-site scripting, XSS.
Precisely. It's the safe default for displaying any data you got from the server, like usernames, comments, that sort of thing.
Got it. Safe display. Now, what about percent value percent? There's a dash in that one.
Right. The dash changes things. Percent value percent outputs raw, unescaped HTML.
Unescaped. When would you need that?
Well, maybe you've stored some rich text in your database, something with bold tags or italics already in it, and you actually want the browser to render that as HTML.
Okay, I see.
But you have to be really careful here. Because it doesn't escape anything, you are trusting that the content is safe, no malicious scripts hidden in there.
So only use it if you absolutely trust where that HTML is coming from.
Absolutely. It's powerful, yes, but it comes with a security warning label. Handle with care.
Okay, duly noted. Then there's percent code percent. This one looks different. More powerful.
It is, yeah. This tag lets you execute pretty much any JavaScript code right there in your template.
Like what kind of code?
Think flow control. You could loop through an array of items, maybe products in a list, and generate HTML for each one, or use if statements to show or hide certain sections based on, say, whether a user is logged in or not.
So you can embed presentation logic directly.
Exactly. Turning that static template into something truly dynamic based on conditions.
Very flexible.
Yeah.
And protect tag comment percent. Seems straightforward.
Yeah, that one's simple, just like comments in regular code. Anything between %tag and % is ignored by EJS.
So notes for yourself or other developers won't show up in the final HTML.
Correct. Useful for explaining tricky parts of the template.
Okay, and the last one here is percent include partial percent. This sounds important for bigger sites.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. This is all about reusability. It lets you pull in the content of another EJS file, what we often call a partial.
Like a header or a footer.
Exactly. Headers, footers, navigation bars, maybe a sidebar. Things you use on many pages, instead of copying and pasting that HTML everywhere.
Which is a nightmare for updates.
A total nightmare. You create it once in its own file, like header.ejs, and then just use %include header % wherever you need it. Keeps things DRY, don't repeat yourself.
Makes sense. Keeps templates cleaner and easier to manage. Okay, so we have these tags, these building blocks. How does it all come together when I, as a user, actually ask for a page?
Right, let's connect the dots. So your browser requests a page, maybe user profile. The web server, often using a framework like express.js, catches that request.
It maps the URL path to some code.
Precisely. That code figures out what data is needed for a profile. It would probably fetch that specific user's info from a database.
Got it. User data retrieved.
Then it calls a rendering function, often something like rest.render. It tells this function which EJS template file to use, maybe profile.ejs.
And crucially,
It passes in that data it just fetched, maybe as a JavaScript object like username, Alice, hobbies, coding, hiking.
okay, template plus data.
Exactly. The EJS engine then grabs that profile.ejs template in the user data object. It reads through the template, processes all those special tags.
The percent includes.
All of them. It substitutes the variable values, runs the JavaScript loops or conditionals, pulls in the included partials, and basically assembles one final complete HTML string.
So it generates the finished HTML on the server.
Yes. And that finished HTML, with all the data baked in, is what gets sent back across the internet to your browser to actually display the page. The browser never sees the EJS tags themselves.
Ah, that's a key distinction. The server does the templating work.
Exactly. And understanding that process, how template engines like EJS bridge the gap between your data and your presentation, is really vital for building modern dynamic web apps.
It provides that separation, right? Keeping the look and feel somewhat separate from the core data and logic.
It does. It helps you build complex, personalized sites much more efficiently. It's a cornerstone of moving beyond static HTML.
Definitely feels like a key skill. So as people think about using template engines like EJS, here's something maybe to chew on. We saw that %code tag lets you put JavaScript logic right in the template.
Very flexible.
But how does putting maybe complex logic there directly in the view template compare to keeping more of that processing strictly in your server-side code before you even call render?
That's a classic trade-off.
Yeah, what are the implications? Maybe for readability, for maintainability, especially as an application gets bigger and more complex? Something to think about?